Okay, just a quick fix to the Russian turn. He had initially put 2 infantry and an artillery in Stalingrad, and he wanted to change those so that they were in Leningrad instead. So we're just going to add 2 infantry and an artillery to Leningrad. And so Leningrad now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 infantry, 1 artillery, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, and 3 fighters. Okay, so that's fixed. Okay, US and China turn 2. US has 52 IPCs to spend, 4 IPCs to advance its technology, 16 IPCs on a new aircraft carrier, 14 IPCs on 2 new transports, and 18 IPCs on 4 infantry and a tank. The Chinese have 15 IPCs to spend. They're going to spend it all on infantry. There is only 1 attack for this round. The Americans can't attack because they're not yet at war. But the Chinese are making an attack on Suiyuan, and they're going to come in with a cavalry, an infantry, and the Flying Tiger fighter squadron. So that's the only thing we have to set up in terms of dice, so we'll be back in just a sec with that. Okay, this is the battle for Suiyuan. Chinese infantry unsupported at 1, cavalry at 2, fighter at 3. Hit. Okay, I've been told that if he hits me first, he's going to lose the cavalry as a casualty, but that's of course only if the Japanese hit. So they do. Okay, so he loses the cavalry unit and takes the territory with an infantry unit. Okay, non-combat for the Americans. They're going to be railing 2 infantry and an artillery from the eastern United States to the western United States. They're going to be sending this strategic bomber from the western United States to the, hang on, let me just check, to the central United States. They're going to be loading up 2 infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 tank onto the 2 transports in C-Zone 10 and moving them along with the carrier, but not the planes, to C-Zone 26 and unloading the ground units in Hawaii. They will also be moving the ships in 23 to 26, the carrier in, what is this, 31 to 26, and the 2 fighters on Wake will land on the empty carrier when it shows up. That's the only non-combat that the Americans have. The only non-combat that the Chinese have is that the Flying Tigers are going to land in Kansu. So that's it. Let me tidy up the board and we'll come back with placements and money. Alright, placements. 2 of the infantry are going to go into the central United States. The tank and the other 2 infantry are going to go into the eastern United States. And then over here in the Pacific, the 2 new transports are going to be placed in C-Zone 10. And the new carrier is going to be placed also in C-Zone 10, and the existing fighters that were there are going to land on the carrier. In terms of what's happening with the Chinese, they're going to put 1 unit in Sichuan and the remaining 4 units in Kansu. Income tracker, the only thing that changes is the Chinese get Suiyuan back. So that means that their income is going to go up 1 from 4 to 5, and the Japanese income is going to go down from 34 to 33. So in terms of starting income for the next round, the Chinese only start with 5 IPCs, and the Americans get 52 IPCs. Okay, let's do the disposition of forces. We'll start with the Americans in the Atlantic. This is what we're dealing with here. So, in C-Zone 101, we have a destroyer, destroyer, a cruiser, and a transport. In the eastern United States, we have a fighter, 2 infantry, 3 mechanized infantry, 1 tank, and 2 anti-aircraft. In central U.S., we have a strategic bomber and 2 infantry. And then over here in the western U.S., we have 3 infantry, 1 mechanized infantry, 1 artillery, 1 and 2 anti-aircraft artillery. In C-Zone 10, C-Zone 10, we have 2 new transports and a fully loaded carrier with 2 fighters. In the Hawaiian Islands, we have 5 infantry. That's 4 Marines and 1 U.S. Army. We have a tank and 2 artillery. In the sea zones 26 surrounding it, we have 2 subs, 3 destroyers, 2 cruisers, 1 battleship, 4 transports, and 2 fully loaded carriers, 1 with 2 fighters and 1 with a fighter and a tactical bomber. The only other American units on the board are in the Philippines. There are 2 infantry in the Philippines. In terms of Chinese units, this is what we're dealing with here. There's 1 Chinese unit in the newly retaken Suiyuan. There is 1 Chinese unit in Sichuan, and there is a fighter and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 infantry in Kansu. So that's what we're dealing with there. And so that's the end of the turn. That's it. UK is up next.